categories in ABC and ABC and adoption factors and cognitive knowledge together, and bibliometric and systematic review for all areas. Okay? 50 minutes.
Hello everybody, I'm Gassan, a PhD student at the University of Valência in Spain. I'm presenting today this work about TDABC and ABC adoption factors. Before the entering in the disclaimer, I would like to do some small introduction. During the economic recession and financial crisis, I was working in re-engineering organizations and restructuring the organizations and departments in Spain. And during that period and later, I find that organizations are facing some problems, a lot of problems of course, but one of them, a group of them, belongs to management accounting. Something like package system or system in management accounting, problems with ERP systems, activities that are not efficient, and other problems. So that data motivated me to study ABC and TDABC because it's recommended to be more efficient activities in the organization. So I entered to the database and I said, okay, I want to see the last 6 years what the top accounting journals published about this topic. And I was surprised because there is no article about this topic. So this led me to ask the first question of this article, which is, are TDABC and ABC still a topic for new issues that capture the attention of the research community? As a result that I didn't find any articles in the top leading journals, I said, okay, I will enter to the Web of Science and I will do a general search without any filters and maybe journals that it mustn't be the top accounting. And the result, it was also surprised because I find journals that are publishing about these topics but are not accounting. Management in hospitals, engineering, production, and they have a higher factual impact than our journals. So I started to study these articles. The majority of them, I think around 90% of them, are cost estimation for processes. And they explain the environment and the reasons that they apply or use these methods of cost estimation. So that leads me to the second question, which is what new factors in the organization environment lead to the adoption and use of TDABC and ABCM? And the subsequent for the second question, the third question, which is what results, limitations, and difficulties do researchers face? So, the research method, we use the PRO-KNOW method, which is a knowledge development process constructed. We selected articles from 2000 to 2017, database Web of Science, and there should be journals in journal citation record. The final bibliographic portfolio was 214 articles, 148 articles of ABC, 20 articles about EVM, and 46 TDABC. And there are 117 articles about private organizations, 86 about public organizations, and 11 about theoretical issues. We did a bibliometric analysis, and here is a small resume by graphics, where we can find, for example, in figure 1, that International Journal Production Economics published in that period 14 articles. The same thing happens with the second journal, which is International Journal Production Research, with 14 articles. In figure 2, we can find that the highest factor impact organization, which is Q1, published 34% of the articles. And in figure 3, we can find the development of number of articles. which is the blue is ABC and the red TDABC. And we can find that the number of TDABC articles are increasing while ABC at the last 3 years or 4 years a fixed tendency. In figure 4, we can find the articles according to the sector. So in the blue one is the public and the red is private. In the last years, we can find that the public are more interested for researchers to analyze. So, as a result for the first question, we can find that journals with highest category are interested in publishing topics about ABCM and TDABC. All the journals quartile are interested. The interest in TDABC are increasing, and ABC has a fixed publishing tendency. And we can find that since 2013, the interest in public organization are increasing. Now, to answer to the second question and third question, we did different tables, but here we can see only one table. And we can find that the articles which mention reasons and factors to analyze, to adopt and apply ABC and TDABC was for different factors or reasons. First, for example, need for accurate cost information, second, for efficiency, third, for quality, benchmarking, and cost-benefit analysis, and for making decisions. While they mentioned as external factors, macroeconomic situation and change in the regulations. That was in the public sector. While in this graphic, we can find the percentage of every factor. There are some articles that they mentioned various different factors at the same time. For example, in ABC, we can find that 54% were for more accurate information, 26 they applied ABC to achieve efficiency, and 24 for economic pressure. While in the factors to use in TDABC, 55 was to achieve efficiency, 41 to accurate information, and 36 for economic pressure. As I said before, that the articles sometimes they apply for more than one reason. While in the private sector, the same table, we can find that organization and articles they applied this costing system for need for cost information, for quality, for efficiency and optimization, for gain competitive advantage, and for decisions. While in external factors, they applied ABC and TDABC for environmental problems and climate change. The same thing with this figure, we can find that they applied the percentage, 33% to greater efficiency, 24 for accurate information, 17 competitive advantages, and 9% of the articles mentioned the environment problems as a cause or reason to apply ABC. While in TDABC, 47 was to achieve efficiency, 30 to obtain accurate information, and 23 to obtain competitive advantage. Now, our object was to detect if there are new factors that we are analyzing, or the articles are mentioning that, and our studies of academics that we didn't analyze. So we compared the literature before the year 2000, the factors that they mentioned, and we compared with the factors that we had from our studies. We based our study on articles such as mapping, the article about mapping, and another articles. So we can consider for ABC and TDABC, it could be the economic recession and financial crisis and environmental problems. It could be factors to analyze in the future studies in their study models. So, economic recession, the last economic recession and financial crisis was a reason for organizations to change with the aim for surviving, maintaining quality, and for another reason. We can find interesting data, information that 73% of the articles that mentioned this factor was articles about Union Europe countries. The second factor is environment and climate change. The environment problems and challenges caused by climate change, global warming, carbon pollution, and sustainability needs were mentioned by authors as a factor that lead to the decision to adopt ABC, while in TDABC we didn't find that they mentioned this factor. The author's interest in ABC was a result of need to estimate more accurately the environment cost of the final products, green supply chain management, enhancement of environmental management, energy and carbon reduction, sustainable public transport infrastructure, and sustainable tourism. Conclusions. According to that, after that we find that the journals that are not accounting, but they are publishing a lot, so we can consider that it's, TDABC and ABC are interested for the community. The knowledge was generated from diverse areas, from hospitals, energy, hotels, engineering, production, and industry. As we put there, 95% of the journals are not accounting. Another data that the internal and external factor that was mentioned in the 18th and 19th is still presented in nowadays. And it's supposed when they introduced ABC and TDABC, it's to be a solution for that problem, but it's still nowadays. And nowadays we have two more factors, and with the problems with commercial war, so we have new factors and it's increasing. There is a limited literature covering change in organization, management control systems, and how it responds and how it affects the economic decision and financial crisis. And it could be an opportunity to future studies to analyze and to see how the organization act and respond to the change to the external environment. Accounting academic journals in general are interested in publishing research based on theories. So maybe that was one of the reasons why academic journals didn't publish anything in that list in that last years, because cost estimation works and they are not theories works. And the difficulties and problems of implementing ABC have remained the same for 35 years, being criticized for complexity, high cost of implementation, and employees and managers resistant to change. So we are facing the same problems until now, while it's supposed that we have more efficient, more better ERP systems, but it's still cost. So I think that we have to improve our knowledge, our costing systems. This article can contribute in two ways. First, for the professionals, because this article resuming tables the reasons, the factors, the problems that they face, the professionals in applying the ABC and TDABC. So it's everything are indexed in the article that every professional can review and find the problems, and he can come back to the article to find the solution. And another contribution is for academics that we consider that it could be interesting for them to introduce these two new factors to the organization. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 10 minutes for the audience, so questions, comments, suggestions.
I can continue, because I like the discussion here a lot regarding the fact that for me it's interesting that a lot on ABC is published elsewhere, but not in accounting journals. So the question is, and you said in your last slide, is that 91% of those are somehow cost estimations. What do you mean by those cost estimations?
What's exactly done in those papers? When if you say that they are cost estimations in specific industries or areas, so what do these papers actually do?
Yeah, for example, in the hospital sector, for example, they analyze, they say that they have a traditional costing system, and they are interested to analyze more better the costs. So they apply ABC or TDABC to calculate better, to be more accurate cost system, more accurate the estimation of the costs. So they apply it to, for example, a surgery for something like that, and they have calculated, for example, years before that it cost for the hospital or for public finance, for example, surgery, $1,000, for example. So they apply ABC or TDABC, and they discover sometimes that it's less or more. And other applications that they, for example, it was a case, I think, case study in Brazil. They discovered that when they analyzed the activities, for example, they said, okay, in general, for a surgery or something like that, he said, okay, there is another activities that we can exclude or are not efficient, and this it's a part of the cost structure. So maybe that, for example, in production, the same thing. In engineering, the same thing. It's in engineering, for example, it comes. We have 35 activities to produce something, and they analyze. Okay, here we enter in about activity-based management. So this activity, maybe if we externalize this activity, it will be more efficient for us for quality. So in general, it wasn't theoretical work, the study models and this factor affect that. So I'm interested, I love this result because I find that our knowledge are moved to other sectors, and they are and it is benefits them. I hope that it's enough.
Yes, thank you very much. So that clarifies this, that what kind of a research is published. Then again, if going back to your paper, that could be one way to actually kind of improve is to characterize and classify what are the different sort of types and strands of literatures there. And then, of course, if you, I don't know where you want to publish this one, but then if you want to take a little bit more critical stance, then the question is, now I know that in one hospital they put an ABC and they get a different results. Then the question is, so what? And when I'm reading the article, I know that if I change the configuration of any accounting model, I always get the different results. So the question is, so what? So what do I learn by reading those things? So again, I think if you kind of want to outline and try to figure out what the reasons that people are interested in reading those type of journals, those type of articles, and what you expect them to learn, and what they, I mean, somehow try to get into why is this paradox existing? That's for me, it's a paradox.
Yeah. In the conclusion, there is a reflection, three questions and reflections saying about, in general, that okay, we know that ABC and TDABC are sometimes more efficient, and we have the same problems, we have the resistance, but we have 35 years that we didn't innovate, that we didn't have any innovation in the sector of costing. So I'm asking there, maybe that the next innovation comes from the other sectors, not the accounting, because they are applying a lot, they are analyzing a lot. For example, in the aircraft organizations, one of the important innovations, which is speed limitation or something like that, I don't remember exactly. So this innovation in cost, it is not a result of accounting. It was a result of engineering. So it's a reflection that say maybe that the next innovation comes from another specialist journals.
More questions, please?
So along these lines, what I usually like in the literature reviews is that they not only laid out what was being done in the past, but that they also laid out what is going to happen in the future, or they give us clues about themes that are important to investigate. So I'm not sure if you have that in your paper, but I think that's another way of how you could improve it, right? Because if you then give us some clues about what's going to happen next or areas for us to research, then of course it's very nice for young scholars who are looking for research ideas to actually draw on your paper and follow up on that. So I'm not sure if you have that.
Yeah, it's one of the limitations that I mentioned in the article, that it's not easy to improve or guide the reader for more information in the future, because we are treating journals in production, in engineering, in public organization, hospitals, libraries. So every case has a different problems. That's maybe I couldn't improve or guide them, the reader, for future information. But yeah, we have a small, we compare the knowledge and the articles studied in ABC and ABM, and we compare it with TDABC, and there's some highlights, some guides, guidelines for the researchers. Okay, it was analyzed in ABC, but it could be analyzed in TDABC in general. As I mentioned before, it's not easy, and this is one of the limitations that we have, that it's a lot of different problems. For example, in production, I was reading engineering problems to produce some piece of something, and it's impossible to understand for us. I hope that would be enough answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is a theoretical framework for examining the relationship between institutional logics